really basic, then you will be able to solve it. But eventually what will happen is that the level of problem will increase, and there you will have to go ahead and perform certain operations. And to perform certain operations, you will have to use data structures and algorithms. So let me quickly tell you what is data structures and algorithm first. So basically, data structure is all about storing the data. So let's say there is a problem statement that is given to you, that you have to build a software, and what the software has to do is that the software has to store the results of students, or store the students of marks in such a manner that I can quickly go ahead and I can get who is having the rank 1, who is having rank 2, who is having rank 3. And I want to get this as fast as possible. So basically you have to build a software which just outputs the rank, like who is rank 1, who is rank 2, who is rank 3 really fast. Okay, so now here you have a problem statement that let's say there are 1,000 students in the college, or let's say there are 100 students in a class. So the very first question is that how will you store that 100 numbers? Okay, how will you store those 100 numbers so that the data can be retrieved really fast? I'll tell you there are two things. How will you store the data such that the data can be retrieved really fast? So now there are number of data structures or the ways of storing the data. So at the end of the day, data structures just do the task of organizing the data in different manner. So we have different data structures like arrays, we have linked lists, we have we have stack, we have queues. At the end of the day, all of them are doing the task of storing data only. It is not like, if you have to store raw numbers, since this is an integer, you will use array. You cannot use graph, you cannot use linked list. No, that is not the case. So now how do I decide which data structure should I use? So that will be decided on the kind of operations you have to do. So here, what do I want? I want that at any point, if I want to get that who's rank number 1, rank number 2, rank number 3, it should be done as fast as possible. So at this stage, what would I want is that the data is stored in a sorted manner. Like this is rank number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I want to store in this sorted manner. Okay, sorted, which means that it is arranged in increasing order. So the first position is rank number 1, the second position is rank number 2. So at this stage, I know that if I have to keep the data in this particular manner, I will have to sort the data. Okay, sort the data means arrange the data in increasing order. So whenever, let's say, a new data comes in, okay, or let's say, the examination has just happened, a teacher or a professor has just punched in the marks, and what our software will do is that our software will calculate who got rank 1, rank 2, rank 3 and arrange the data accordingly. So I have to perform this arranging operation. So out of all the data structures that I know, I have to know that which particular data structure will help me in doing this particular arrangement in the best manner possible. So this is the data structure, and algorithm is that how I am going to arrange that particular data. So how to do the operation is decided by the algorithms. So algorithms are nothing but a certain steps that we follow to do a certain operation, and data structure is that how do I store the data such that the operations that I have to perform can be done in a really fast manner and less complex manner. So let's say if you go ahead and you use linked list, okay. So if you use linked list, then sorting in linked list in itself is a great havoc for the developer as well. So that is why we have the study of data structures and algorithm, because almost all the problems that you will solve will have certain data, okay, and you will have to perform operations on those data only. So that certain data, how to store that, the data structures, and how to do the operations are algorithms. So now obviously, we write a lot of our own algorithms, but there has been certain algorithms that are already written, like backtracking, dynamic programming, greedy algorithms. So these are already written. Some genius came up with these algorithms. Now, there are a lot of problems which can be solved using these existing algorithms only. We don't need to come up with the new algorithms. So using these existing algorithms, a lot of problems can be solved. So that is why if I have to solve the problem efficiently, I should know what are the different data structures that exist and what are the different algorithms that exist and where to use, what to use where. So this is the whole study of data structures and algorithms. And the reason it is important is that if you have to solve problems, you will have to need DS algo. So you don't need DS algo if you have to start solving problems. After a certain point, you start getting questions of certain difficulty level, and there you will need these data structures and algorithms. So I'll tell you the path. Just give me a moment. Yes. So basically, I'm repeating at the end of the day, the agenda is not that I have to master DS algo. The agenda is that I have to have really good coding skills. I have to have really strong problem solving skills. I should be good at competitive coding when I'm participating in coding competitions. I should be good at competitive coding. I should have good ratings and ranks. I should be able to crack the coding round of the companies. That should be a motivation. And obviously, DS algo forms a very important part. But DS algo is not the only thing. It's not that, let's say, the first topic of data structure is arrays. I jump to arrays and I start solving random questions and I will be fine. No, even to understand data structures and algorithms, you need to know a lot of things from beforehand. So this is the whole path of how to master data structures and algorithms, which I'm going to tell you guys. Okay, and that is why I asked you guys that where are you right now? Okay, so if some of you are at a place where you have never done coding at all, and you directly pick up a book of data structure and algorithm and you start, reading about it, you will not understand anything. Or if you're someone who cannot even build logic, and you again start directly solving questions of linked lists, you will go mad. Okay, and again, if you are someone who is facing issue solving the questions of arrays and strings, and let's say you pick up again linked lists, you'll be facing issue. So you need to develop a lot of skills from beforehand so that eventually you can go ahead and you start using data structures and algorithms when those level of problems come in front of you. So to start your coding journey, as I said, I'll talk about the complete coding journey, and obviously DSL performs a very important part. The first thing you have to do is you have to make your fundamentals strong. So whatever is your language, you have to take that particular language and make the fundamentals strong. So a very common question that comes up is that which language I should use for coding. Okay, so can you guys tell me if you already know any language, the basics of any language? Okay. Okay. HTML CSS is a different thing. I was asking what C, C++, Java, or Python. So you can start with any language. If you know any of the language C, C++, Java, you can do data structures in all the four languages: C, C++, Java, Python. You can do it in all these languages. If needless to say that in C, you will find implementing data structures comparatively tough, because when you go ahead and you talk of complex topics, and especially if you have to think like you have to use things like maths, so it becomes a bit complex in case of C language. Okay, it's not that it won't be done, it's just that if you're writing 5 lines in C++, you'll have to write 15 lines in C. That is the only thing. So if you already know any language, that's fine. Else if you know multiple languages and you're looking for one suggestion, you guys can pick up C++. Okay, so now what I'll do is that rather than showing this to you guys, I'll just share my screen and I'll now tell you how topic by topic you have to master data structures and algorithms. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Yeah. Okay. So let's say I go anywhere. Doesn't matter. Okay. Sorry, I got some redirection. Just give me a moment. Okay, so now if I talk of the topics, that how you're going to start from basics and how you're going to do the things topic by topic. So the first thing, like I said, is that you have to go ahead and you have to work on the language. So when I say language, not the complete language for that matter, to get started with coding, you need to know the basics like input, output, loops, operator expressions, decision making, and data types, functions. So these basic things you guys need to go ahead and you need to learn the theory. Follow any book, follow any lectures, and just go through these topics, these 4 5 topics. And before you come to this coding platform, make sure you have done some of the hands-on from your end as well. Which means whatever code that you guys are watching in the lecture or anything like that, you have written some programs on your own, like add two numbers or maybe take the input, take multiple inputs. You have done that already. So now, and after you come to this platform or any platform that matter, you have to go to coding platform to make sure that you guys are, solving the problem. Because at the end of the day, we have to solve some problems now. So for that, what we will do is that we will see some logical problems or fundamental problems. So I will go here. So now here in this particular platform, you have two mode, practice and personalized. In personalized mode, if you take a small onboarding test, you will get questions as per your skills. So let's say I quickly take a test. You guys can take this later on. Okay, I should not do this right now. So there you will get, I show this to you. Okay. So you guys can take the test. Okay, these tests is just to understand how is your current coding skill. I'm taking random answers and I got really bad scores. Okay, no worries. And after this, what's going to happen is that you're going to get questions as per your skills. So your path to master data structure algorithm will look something like this. Okay, irrespective of, again, I'm repeating, in any coding platform you're going. So you start with the basics of fundamentals, and here you practice some of the logic building. After that, you go to arrays. Okay, you solve the questions of arrays. Then you go to strings, recursion. Maths is, again, if you're doing competitive coding, it will be very helpful for you. Okay, and then you go to searching, sorting, divide and conquer, linked list, stacks, queue, segment trees again for competitive coding, trees, greedy algos, heaps, backtracking, graph, dynamic programming, and these two again are for competitive coding specifically. So yeah, so this is the whole data structures and algorithm path that you guys will have to follow. Don't worry, I've just shown you the topics. I'll tell you in detail how to go across each one of this. So like I said, you have to start with fundamentals. So as you can see that these are so many topics. So it's not a matter of 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's a matter of good number of weeks, and it requires a lot of patience and a lot of hard work. So let's say I go to fundamentals first. So the first thing you have to do is fundamentals. So here, since I came out to be beginner, I'll get a very easy question, which is modulus tension. So if you guys are beginner, you guys will have to start from the very simple question. So the question is, Prepbytes gave you a number x, and you have to find the remainder of x when divided by 10. So can you guys put in the chat box, like, how do I, if I have to find the remainder of a number when divided by 10, what is the operator I am going to use? Exactly. So to solve this particular problem, I just need to know how to take an input. Okay, I just need to know how to take input and how to divide a number. Sorry, how to get the remainder of a number when divided by 10. So let's say I'll quickly write this down for people who have just started coding. So let's say if I'm using C++, I'll do C in X, and I'll do C out X mod 10. I'll run the code. Okay, I did some mistake. Oh, I didn't declare X. Thank you, Palak. See. Okay, so now if you see what happened initially, I ran this, I did not do this, I got some compilation error, I checked the error. Here I missed the semicolon, I got the error. So everyone who is starting from the basics, if you get any error, you don't have to be like, what has happened? You have to see what is the error that you're getting. Let me run it again. Okay, so if you see for 1, 3, 4, 5, I get the output as 5. So I see that this is working fine. So I'll submit the code. So if you see, I got the right answer. I got this tick. So in case people who have not started programming or who are just started programming, so you have to start your journey literally from here, or even from the basics, which I said that before you come to this platform, you have to do some of the questions on your own. And in case you're wondering that I have to master data structures and algorithm, there is no data structure algorithm involved over here. Why am I doing this? So let me tell you, to be able to solve the question of data structures and algorithms, you need a certain coding skills already. You need a certain logic building skills, debugging skills, and all of that comes from solving questions. And to be able to solve questions, you have to start your journey from here only. Okay? So this is how you start the journey. Now let me go back. So one by one, you will go ahead and you will start solving the questions. So you start from the basic questions, then you go to solve more and more questions. So all of these questions, I'll tell you, can be solved if you know the basics of fundamental 6, 7 topics I told you. So till here, I'll tell you what's going to happen is that the questions are kind of straightforward, like modulus 10 or find the addition of two numbers, something like that. Eventually, if you see, the problems will become a bit logical. Okay, when I say a bit logical, if you saw the question that I solved just now, I didn't have to think much. I just knew that I have